Hey everybody, Varun here from Language Academy. Guys, welcome back to another video. This video we are going to look at some important last minute tips you need to follow if you seriously want to crack your PTE test this year. I have divided this video into 4 different parts. In first part we'll have a look at the speaking module, then writing module, reading module and listening module. And at the end I'm going to give you some bonus tips, so make sure you watch the video till the very end. Let's get into the video. I'll try to keep it short but at the same time informative as well, so that you can get maximum output from this particular video in the minimum time possible. Let's get started. Very first thing, we'll have a look at the speaking module. As soon as you go and take your test or sit for your test, you will be given an erasable notebook and a marker. Always ask for an extra marker. Make sure you have got 2 markers, because markers often dry out very quickly in the test room, and if your marker stops working, you can be in big problem because you'll not be able to take notes. And always make sure when you're not using the marker, you always place the lid on the marker so that it does not dries out and you can use it again and again. Make sure you have 2 markers in case they only give you a single marker. Now once you have got erasable notebook and the marker, first thing they'll ask you to test your microphone and your headset. Make sure you are clearly audible, your voice is going in properly. Do not keep the microphone too close or too far, and you can hear back your audio properly as well. Even if you have 1% doubt that your recorder is not working properly, check with your invigilator so that you don't have any issues with the recording, because if you've got some issues with the recording, computer will have difficulty understanding what you're trying to say, and that can significantly impact your speaking points. Once you're done with checking your microphone and your headset, you move on to the test. First question is personal introduction. This is not marked. You will be asked to describe anything about yourself, your name, hobby and everything. You'll be given around 40 seconds for that. You don't really need to provide facts about yourself. What I usually do is, because after personal introduction, your first question, read aloud, will come. So I use personal introduction to prepare for read aloud. What I do in personal introduction, I'll just read whatever instructions are given on the screen. That helps me get a bit more used to what the test is and bit more confident and get into the flow of the test. Because if I'll try to speak about myself and stuff like that, there will be a few hesitations and I might get nervous. So always in personal introduction, just read whatever is given on the screen so that you get into the flow of the test and you do not make mistakes in your read aloud. Now, once you are done with your personal introduction, your speaking module will actually start, the part which is marked. Normally there are 5 different question types in the speaking module. In speaking module, you will always have enough time, so you don't really need to worry about time management in speaking module. So 5 different question types, around 28 to 29 total questions. For read aloud, you'll have 6 to 7 questions, repeat sentence 10 to 12, 3 to 4 describe images, 1 or 2 retell lectures, and around 5 to 6 answer short questions. For now, for the month of May 2024 and June 2024, Pearson has introduced 2 new question types called group discussion, and there's another type of question where you will get an audio and then you'll have to retell that particular question, or you have to address that question in your own words. These are added temporarily. These are not marked. You don't really need to worry about these 2 question types. Pearson is just collecting data for these 2 question types. You don't really need to worry about these. So normally you'll have 5 different question types in your test, but nowadays students are getting 7 different question types, out of which 2 are trial questions which are not marked. You only need to be concerned about read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, retell lecture and answer short questions. Now let's get started with read aloud. Read aloud, what are the things you need to take care of? Before read aloud, throughout your speaking, you need to take care of 3 things, right? Fluency, pronunciation and content. Please get this straight into your head that fluency is not your speed. You have to go at a moderate pace. You have to make sure you're very comfortable, calm and confident. Don't try to rush. Don't try to go too fast. The more you try to rush, the more problems you can have. So it is highly advisable you go at a moderate pace. Take proper pauses, take a slight pause at comma, full stop, connector, and whenever you feel like you're running out of breath after a sentence or 2, you can take a slight pause. Pronunciation is not your accent, it's more about your clarity. I don't really want you to fake your accent over there. Keep it natural, keep it normal, Like I've got an Indian accent, right? I use the same accent and I've got 90 every time. And this is what I want you to do as well. Keep it natural, keep it simple, and focus on your clarity. And content, I'll discuss question by question. For read aloud, you have to keep few things in mind. You have to make sure you focus on the clarity of the words. Whatever text is given on the screen, do not rush, go at a moderate pace, and make sure you properly pronounce words ending with S and ED. For example, if the word says boys and you're just saying boy, or it says attempted with ED, you're just saying attempt, you're going to lose points in your reading part. So for your read aloud, focus on clarity, go at a moderate pace, keep it natural. If you find it difficult to speak clearly, you can reduce your speed a bit, but make sure you focus on the content part clearly. That is very, very important, and that is crucial. So these are things you need to take care of. Your speed, moderate, clarity 100%, and content, you have to speak each and every word clearly. That is how you'll get full points in your read aloud. You can also use one-line strategy in read aloud if you know about it. If you don't really know about it, I'll attach the link to the video where I've explained read aloud one-line strategy. If you're finding read alouds difficult, 100% go with one-line strategy will significantly help you boost your scores, right? It is working. All our students are using it, and this particular strategy has significantly helped them increase the speaking and reading scores, because read aloud will give you a lot of points in the reading module as well. Next, repeat sentence. A lot of students do struggle with repeat sentence, asking me again and again, what do we need to do to increase your content? See, I've taken the test 12 times. I've got 19 listening and 19 speaking. And every time I go for the test, I'm not able to repeat 100% of the content. Neither I want you to repeat 100% of the content. What I want you to do is understand the sentence as much as you remember, speak it clearly and confidently. Repeat sentence is not a memory test. It's more of your speaking test and your listening test. Listen to the sentence, understand the meaning as much as you remember, speak it clearly and confidently. Even if you repeat 70 to 80% of the content, that too clearly and confidently, you will be 100% fine. Even if you're not able to repeat 100% content, don't stress. As much as you remember, speak it clearly and confidently and move on. This is what I want you to do. Repeat sentences are important because these will help you boost your scores in listening, but that does not necessarily means that you have to repeat 100% of the content. Content is important. I'm not really asking you to ignore the content part, but repeating 70 to 80% of the content, that too clearly and confidently, will give you full points in listening and speaking. This is what I do. Understand the sentence as much as I remember, speak it clearly and confidently. If you're not really sure about the content, let's say the sentence is, I'm going to London with my friends tomorrow in a bus because there is a party. Now it's pretty long sentence. I only remember I'm going to London in a bus. I'll just say I'm going to London in a bus and I'm very happy. So I added a filler at the end that will help me keep up with my fluency and pronunciation. Content, obviously I'll lose half or 1 point, but at least I'll get full points in fluency and pronunciation and 2 on 3 in content, which will give me 12 on 13 at the end. I'm still better off than thinking about the content and repeating it, which is not possible because you only have 7 to 8 seconds. So these were few tips for repeat sentences. Now let's move on to describe, image and retell lecture. Describe, image and retell lecture both are important and easy, but in 2024 and afterwards you have to be very careful. There was a time in describe, image and retell lecture where students used to speak any random thing. They used to get 90 on 90, but that is not the case anymore. In 2024, if you actually want to get your scores in describe, image and retell lecture, you have to be very careful. You're free to use the templates. Templates do work, but you have to make sure you make the template work for yourself. Pearson in some cases might block your template. What is that particular case? Whereby you repeat the same sentence again and again in the template. A lot of students use I can see, or this see on the screen, on the screen, on the screen. Do not repeat the same sentence in the template again and again for describe, image and retell lecture. You have to use the template. You're free to use the template, but the sentences in the template should be different. For example, your describe image template can be something like this. The image gives information about one keyword, any keyword from the image. Firstly, it gives information about one keyword and two keyword. Moreover, some highlights about this and this were presented. However, some details about different facts including dash and dash were given. Moreover, some important information was revealed about this and this. Overall, the image was very informative. So I just made up a template right now, right? The whole purpose is You use the template to get into the flow, add keywords from the image, but at the same time, you need to make sure you do not repeat the same sentences again and again. That might impact your describe, image and retell lecture scores significantly, and in the end it will impact your speaking scores as well. So be very careful. In describe, image and retell lecture, use the templates. You're free to use the templates. In describe, image, speak around 20 to 25 seconds. Retell lecture around 25 to 30 seconds. You'll be fine. In case you have got less keywords in retell lecture or describe image, you can repeat the same keywords but not the same sentences from the template. Also, do not try to speak everything. Let's say you've got 20 keywords and you find it difficult to pronounce 7 keywords or 8 keywords. What you do in that case, only speak words which you're 100% sure, and if you have less keywords, you repeat the same, but do not speak any word you're not really sure about. This will significantly help you with your pronunciation and your clarity. So that was your describe, image and retell lecture. Describe, image will only give you points in speaking, retell lecture in speaking and listening. Last question type is answer short questions. Not really important. You get 1 point for correct answer, 0 for incorrect. But what I always do in this, a day or 2 days before the test, I go through all the predictions available on languageacademy.com.au. Very high chances you get something from there. Another thing which I want you to be very careful about is do not just keep quiet in case you don't know the answer. If you know the answer, speak the answer. If you don't know the answer, just repeat the question or important keywords from the question. If there are 2 or 3 options given in the question, repeat all the options. Do not say I do not know. Do not say do not just keep quiet. Know the answer, speak the answer. You don't know the answer, repeat the keywords from the question. And if there are options in the question, for example, Ferrari or Lamborghini, which is the cheapest car or which is the expensive of these two? You don't know the answer, just say Lamborghini, Ferrari, cheapest, expensive, whatever keywords were there in the question. And this is what I do as well. And this will certainly help you get your desired scores because they're only checking your speaking skills. They're not really checking your general knowledge skills. But at the end, don't really stress much about answer short questions. You can mess these up and still get 90. You know, when I go for the test, obviously out of 6, I only know 3, 4, 5 answers. Every time 1 or 2 questions are slightly difficult, which I'm not really sure about, so I use this trick as well. So that will be the end of your speaking. Focus more on read aloud, repeat sentence, follow the templates in describe, image and retell lecture, and don't worry much about answer short questions. Now let's move on to part 2, writing module. Alright, once you're done with your speaking module, you'll move on to the part 2 of your test, the writing module. Writing module is pretty straightforward, but it's a bit tricky at the same time, right? In writing module, you'll have 2 different question types. The first one is summarized written text and the second one is essay. In summarized written text, you will get a passage on your screen. You'll have to write a summary between 5 to 75 words using 1 full stop. And essay, you'll be given a topic and you have to write an essay between 200 to 300 words. For summarized written text, you get 10 minutes each, and essay you get 20 minutes each. You'll get 2 to 3 summarized written text and 1 to 2 essays in your test. Now, let me explain you these 2 question types and then tell you a few more things about the writing module. In summarized written text, you have to use the shortcut, the structure which I have given you. You need to select 2, 3 or 4 important sentences from the passage and join those sentences using the connectors. You do not have to actually read the passage and summarize what the passage is all about. Just select 2, 3 or 4 sentences from the passage, join them using connectors and move on. In essay, what you need to do, you need to use a template which I provided that is working in 2024, and if it doesn't work, I'll just take it off from YouTube. I'll attach the link to that video in the description box. You can use that template. Now the template, all the templates, they do come with some limitations, right? In 2022, 2021, there was a time when students used to just write an essay template without any kind of relevant keywords and they used to get the scores. But that is not the case anymore. You have to be very careful when you're using the essay template. Essay templates do work, but you have to make sure you make the template work for yourself. What do I mean by this? If you're using the essay template, you have to make sure you have to take care of 2 things. First thing, you have to include all the keywords from the essay prompt or essay question or essay topic in your answer. Let's say you have been given 3 statements in the essay question. For example, global warming is increasing rapidly. This has resulted in melting of glaciers. It has also led to destruction of habitat. What do you think? Now you have to make sure these three sentences or the important keywords from these three sentences are there in your essay or in your answer or in your response. If you're not including all the keywords from the essay topic in your answer, there are very high chances that you lose a lot of points in your writing or the content part, and at the end you lose a lot of points in your writing module. So first thing, I want you to include all the keywords from the essay topic in your answer. Second, I want you to make sure you include at least 5 to 6 keywords related to the essay topic in your answer. At least 5 to 6 keywords related to the essay topic or answering the essay topic in your answer. For example, in global warming, you can include keywords like rising temperature, increasing pollution, chemicals, increasing fires, destruction of habitat, increased health issues. 5 to 6 important keywords which are relevant to the topic, which will help you to structure your essay and make your essay more worthy and help you to form better content, more understandable content and relevant content, which will make sure you do not lose points in content and you get full points in essay. I'll again repeat: summarize written text, select 2, 3 or 4 important sentences, join them using the connectors. In essay, first thing, include all the important keywords from the essay topic. Second, add 5 to 6 important keywords related to the essay topic in your answer and you will be 100% fine. Now this was your writing module, right? But you need to understand that majority of your writing scores in writing part are not from the writing module. I'll repeat again, majority of your writing scores in the writing module are not from the writing module itself. Majority of your writing scores are from the listening and the reading module. PTE test is interconnected or integrated, means from speaking you get points in reading, from reading you get points in writing, from writing in reading, listening in writing. So everything is interconnected. Very important you understand the marking criteria. Writing itself, summarize written text and essay, will only give you around 17-18 points in the writing module. Remaining around 65 to 70 points will come from listening and reading module. Particularly reading and writing blanks, listening, summarize spoken text, listening, fill in the blanks and write from dictation. You need to take care of these 4 question types if you actually want to get a higher score in writing. Total 6 question types do contribute in the writing module. 2 from the writing module, 3 from the listening module and 1 from the reading module. So you have to be very careful when you are attempting the writing module, that don't just focus on writing, focus equally on listening and reading as well, which will in turn help you boost your writing scores. And that is the end of the writing module, and now we'll move on to the reading module. Now the third part of your PTE test is your reading module. Very important module, one module where a lot of students do struggle a bit, find it difficult because they don't really have a lot of shortcuts. Now reading, you will have an overall time, you have to manage your time over here. You'll have around 15 to 18 different questions, 5 question types, basically 15 to 18 number of questions, and around 29 to 32 minutes depending on the number of questions you have. There are 5 different question types, out of which 2 are not important at all, 1 is moderately important and 2 are extremely important. The very first question type which you will get in your test are your reading and writing blanks, also called your drop down blanks. Very important. What you have to do over here, you have to focus on grammar rules, you have to focus on the context, and you have to manage your time as well. In reading, you have to make sure you do not spend more than 2.5 minutes per question. Another thing which I want to make it very clear in reading, right? There are no shortcuts, no hacks, no templates, no fixed answers. It's not that I'll just tell you, you go and do this and you'll get the scores. Reading is primarily based on 3 parameters. The most important one is context. If you're doing reading blanks, reading, writing blanks or reorders, it is very important that you understand what the passage is talking about and interpret it properly and correctly. If you understand the meaning of the passage, you'll be able to quickly solve it and solve it accurately. Second, you have to use grammar rules. You should be well versed with nouns, tenses, different form of verb and other things which will help you ease up and choose the right answers accurately. So understanding the context, using the grammar rules, and finally eliminating the wrong options. Whenever you're confused, you should be eliminating the options. Let's say you're confused between A, B and C. Consider option A, doesn't sound right, cut it off. Move on to B, sounds right, leave it for now. Go on to C, you a bit dicey, you think B sounds more accurate, select B. So first of all, understand the context. Second, apply grammar rules. And if you're still confused, consider each option, the one which sounds right, which goes properly, select that one and move on. That is how you have to solve your reading blanks, reading writing blanks. In reading writing blanks, the first question type, you'll have 5 to 6 questions. Each question will have 4 to 5 blanks, and these questions will give you points in your reading and the writing module. You get 1 point for each correct blank. So let's say you have got 5 question types with 5 blanks each. You're getting around 25 points in reading and 25 points in writing, which will make it very important that you have a very high accuracy over here. So reading writing blanks, once you're done with this, you get MCQ multiple questions or MCQ question multiple answers. Not important, you don't even have to waste a single second on this. Just select one option, option number C, which has got a high probability of being correct. It might be the case that C is not even a single correct answer in your test, but I'll still recommend you not to waste time on MCQ multiple answers, even if you go wrong over here, but your reading blanks and reorders and reading writing blanks are correct, you can still get 79 plus. Do not waste your time, select one option which sounds right and move on. Third question is reorder paragraph. For reorder paragraph, use all the rules I have told you, but do not spend more than 2 minutes on one reorder paragraph. It is moderately important. If you're not able to solve the whole passage, just use the rules to make pairs. What I'll do is, I've got a video 1 hour long where I've explained all the rules. I'll attach the link to that video in the description box. You can watch that as well. Fourth question is reading drag and drop, pretty similar to drop and down blanks. Over here you have around 4 to 5 blanks and 7 to 8 options. So you can use context, grammatical rules, and then elimination method to solve these particular blanks. One thing which I want you to be very careful in reading writing blanks and reading blanks is that, let's say you are on to the first blank, you're not really sure about the answer, do not fill it. Come on to the second one. You're not really sure about the second one as well, move on to the third one. Fill the blanks which you're sure and confident about first, and then move on to the remaining ones. Because if you fill the first one wrong, you will interpret the passage incorrectly and mess up the whole passage. You will go wrong. There are high chances you'll go wrong in the remaining blanks as well. So fill the blanks which you're sure and confident about first, and then come back to the remaining blanks. That will also help you improve your accuracy. 2 to 2.5 minutes per passage. And finally, last question type is MCQ single answer. After this, you will have 1 or 2 MCQ single answers. If you have overall time remaining, spend time, try to select the right answer. If not, do not leave it unattempted. Just select the one which sounds right. If you have no idea, just select C, but do not leave anything unattempted, and that will be end of your reading module. What are the things you need to take care of in reading? Focus more on reading blanks, reading writing blanks, a bit on reorder paragraphs, not at all on MCQ single and MCQ multiple. Per question, you'll have 15 to 18 questions and 29 to 31 minutes. Depending on the exam pattern. But yes, if you spend around 2.5 minutes per question, you'll be able to solve it, because you're not spending time on MCQ single and MCQ multiple questions as well. If you do these things 100%, you'll be able to improve your reading scores. Now remember this thing, that reading module will only contribute around 50% of your reading scores. Remaining 50% will come from speaking, read aloud, summarize written text from writing, highlight incorrect words from listening, and highlight correct summary from listening. So I always tell this thing that 45 points or 50% of the reading scores which do come from the reading module itself, it is a bit difficult to get 100% accuracy over there. But 45 points or the 50% of the score of the reading module which comes outside the reading module, which is from speaking, read aloud, summarize written text, highlight incorrect words, and highlight correct summary, is comparatively easier and has got high probability of getting correct, or high probability of you scoring a higher accuracy in these question types. So I'll highly advise you to firstly focus more on getting higher accuracy in read aloud, summarize written text, highlight incorrect words, and highlight correct summary. And once you start getting good scores in these 4 question types, then focus on your reading blanks, so that even if you don't have 80% accuracy in the reading module, but you have high accuracy in the questions apart from the reading module, you will still end up getting a higher score in reading. So first of all, fix all the easy questions which will give you a higher reward, and then jump on to the questions which are slightly difficult, which are from your reading module. That is the end of the reading module, and now we'll move on to the listening module. Alright, once you're done with the reading module, the last module of the test, the part 4 of the test, is the listening module, and one of the most important modules in the test, because along with listening, this is going to give you a lot of points in writing and in your reading as well. Now listening, the very first question type is summarize spoken text. Listening is basically divided into two parts, where you have got first question, summarize spoken text, as part 1, and remaining question as part 2. In part 1, you have got 10 minutes for each question, and for part 2, you have an overall time where you have to manage the time yourself. Now, you have 8 different question types in the listening module, out of which 4 are extremely important and 4 are not important at all. 4 important ones are summarize spoken text, listening, fill in the blanks, write from dictation, and highlight incorrect words. The ones which are not important are listening MCQ single answers, listening MCQ multiple answers, select missing words, and highlight correct summary. Now, what I want you to do and what I want you to be careful about, you have to manage your time properly. As soon as you start your listening module, summarize spoken text, you'll get 1 or 2 questions over here. You get 10 minutes each. What are the things you need to take care of in summarize spoken text? You have to write between 50 to 70 words, a summary of the audio which will be provided. 50 to 70 words, ideally around 60-65 words. You have to be very careful about this. You can use the template, but make sure you have around 10 to 12 keywords from the lecture, and there are no spelling mistakes. If there is any keyword you're not really sure about, do not write it. Worst case, if you have got less keywords, repeat the same keywords, but do not write any word you're not sure about. 10 minutes each, including the audio time. Audio goes on for around a minute, so you basically only have 9 minutes. Out of 9 minutes, spend 6 minutes to write your answer or type your answer, and last 3 minutes to proofread it. Once you're done with your summarized spoken text, part 2 will start, where you will have around 12 to 15 questions and around 20 to 28 minutes, depending on your exam pattern, sometimes 20 to 22 minutes as well. Now, questions which I've told you are not important are MCQ single, multiple, select missing word, and highlight correct summary. You do not have to spend even a single second on these question types. What you have to focus on: listening, fill in the blanks, highlight incorrect words, and write from dictation. Listening, fill in the blanks. What are the things you need to take care of? You have to be very careful about the spellings. While the audio is going on, make sure you always keep your eyes on the screen and keep your hands moving. While you're taking notes, do not take your eyes off the screen and take notes like this, because if you miss the flow of the lecture, you'll not be able to track it back and you will miss whole of the audio. I want you to keep your eyes on the screen, take the notes, be very careful with S and ED. Any word ending with S or ED, you have to write it as it is. On top of that, if there is any blank after full stop, question mark, or exclamatory sign, you have to start with a capital alphabet. That is how you'll get full points. Listening, fill in the blanks, very important. You get 2 to 3 question types or 2 to 3 listening, fill in the blanks. Each passage will have 4 to 5 blanks, and you get 1 point for each correct blank. Each correct blank means spellings are correct as well. Now, let's say you've got 3 questions with 4 blanks each. You are straight away getting 12 points in listening, and this task will give you points in writing as well. So around 12 points in writing. What you have to do, once you take the notes, audio stops, type in your answer quickly, proofread it properly, be careful with your spellings, and then move on to the next question. Do not waste a lot of time reading or revising the spellings again and again. Also, after you type your word, do not give any space after the word. That can impact your score, or computer can take it as an incorrect spelling, so do not give any space after typing your answer. Next, highlight incorrect words, very important. You will have a passage on your screen. The audio will be played for the same passage. Few words in the audio will be different as compared to what is on the screen. You have to select those words. Very careful. You have got negative marking over here. There are 3 question types in PTE where you are negatively marked: listening, highlight incorrect words, listening MCQ multiple answer, and reading MCQ multiple answer. So in highlight incorrect words, there is negative marking. You have to be very careful. You get 1 point for each correct selection, -1 for each incorrect selection, and 0 is the minimum you can get. For example, if you select 3 words, all 3 are incorrect, you won't get -3, you'll only get 0 out of that particular question. But yes, you don't have to focus on that. You have to focus on getting as much accuracy as possible. Now, over here, You have to be very careful. As soon as the audio starts, you start reading the passage along with the audio. Select the words which are spoken incorrectly. Any word you are doubtful about, do not select it, as there is negative marking. 2 to 3 questions of highlight incorrect words. Be very careful. Once the audio stops, you don't really have much to do. Move on to the next question. Once you are done with your highlight incorrect words, which is the second last question of the listening module and your test as well. The last question is write from dictation. This is the most important question. This is extremely important, the king of the test. If you have got this correctly, you are going to significantly boost your overall listening and writing scores. Now, what are the things you need to take care of in write from dictation? You will have 3 to 4 questions of write from dictation. Each question will have a sentence around 10 to 12 words. You get 1 point for each correct word. For example, the word is I am going to London for a break. You get 1 point for I, 1 point for am, 1 point for going, and so on. Let's say you get 4 sentences, 10 words each. You're getting 40 points in listening and 40 points in writing. Very important, write from dictation. There's no negative marking over here. What you need to do as soon as the audio starts, take the notes, look at the notes, type your answer. Now, there's one trick which you have to use in write from dictation. Wherever you're doubtful about the word, articles or spellings, add extra words. For example, the sentence is I am going to London. If you have to capitalize L for London, what you can do is you can write I am going to London with capital L and then space, London with small n, and then full stop. You will get 1 point for correct word, and the word which you have added extra as extra, which is incorrect, you won't really lose any points for that. So even if you have added extra words, you are getting full points. So wherever you are doubtful about singular or plural, you can add extra words. Wherever you're doubtful about articles like a and the, you can add extra words over there as well. 3 to 4 write from dictations. Listen to the audio, take notes, type your answer, and move on. Do not waste a lot of time. You should spend a maximum of 50 seconds to 1 minute for every write from dictation. Once you're done with write from dictations, you will end your test. You'll submit your test. Once you go, probably in a few hours or a day or two, you will get your scorecard and hopefully you'll get your scores. Now, before we wrap up in listening module, why I've told you to not waste time on MCQ single, multiple, highlight, correct summary, and select missing words, because a lot of time students do spend a lot of time on questions which are not important, and as a result they do not have enough time for write from dictation. Your listening exam pattern will look like this: summarize spoken text, where you use complete 10 minutes because there's no rollover time. Means if you finish the question in 7 minutes, you won't get extra 3 minutes in the next question. So summarize spoken text, use complete 10 minutes. Then once you move on from summarize spoken text, first question type is MCQ multiple answer. In listening, you cannot move on to the next question until the audio finishes. So the questions which I have told you not to spend or waste time means you have to give your best, but once the audio stops, do not waste your time. They are worth a few points, but not a lot that you spend a lot of time over there. After MCQ multiple, you have listening, fill in the blanks. Spend a bit of time over here, proofread your answers and move on. Then you have got your highlight correct summary, select missing word, MCQ single answers. After the audio stops, try to select the answer during the audio itself, but after the audio, if you need time, maximum 5 to 10 seconds. Then 7th question type is your highlight incorrect words. Very important, but you do not need to spend a lot of time here after the audio because you don't have much to do. Last, write from dictation. You need to at least make sure you have around 50 seconds to 1 minute for every dictation, but don't just waste your time on adding extra words where you are sure that the word was not there. A lot of times students just keep on playing with the words, and as a result they're not able to finish off the test. Until and unless you have not submitted your test, do not stop. Give your best. Be very careful, be attentive, manage each and everything, and make sure everything is perfectly done. And once you submit your test and you follow my tips, 100% you are going to get your desired scores if you practice properly. Now, to practice properly, you have to go on languageacademy.com.au, register over there, practice. Every question you submit, you'll get scores, detailed feedback on how you have to improve, what are the mistakes you're making, and everything else you need to crack your test in the very first go. One request which I want to make is to make sure whenever you go for the test, you have to take one free full scored mock test which is available on languageacademy.com.au. You just need to go on languageacademy.com.au, register over there, go to mock test, take test, full mock test. The test is exactly the same as you'll have your exam. This will give you a clear idea of how you have to manage your time, what the exam pattern is, what are the probable mistakes which you're likely to make in the test. If you make the mistakes in the mock test, you can rectify here, and then you'll not repeat the same mistakes in the test, and you'll obviously get a higher score. What I want you to do is I want you to make sure you take at least one free full scored mock test, which is available on the website. You'll get scorecard exactly like your test, question wise feedback, which question, how you have attempted or how you have approached each question, and what are the mistakes you have made, feedback on how you have to improve, and in-depth analysis. Everything will make it very clear for you on how you have to crack your test. Plus, along with this, you can take one sectional mock test for every section and one extensive mock test as well. Extensive mock tests are very important. Make sure you take a few. One extensive mock test per module is available for free. You just need to go on languageacademy.com.au and register, or if you don't have access to computer, you can download LAPT exam practice app, available on iOS and Google. Now I'll give you a practice plan which you can follow and boost your scores. Every day, practice 20 read alouds, 30 repeat sentences, 3 describe images, 3 retell lectures. Summarize written text and essay, just do one alternate day. So one day summarize written text, one day one essay. 20 reading blanks, 20 reading writing blanks, 5 to 10 reorders. 1 to 2 summarize spoken text, 10 listening fill in the blanks, 5 highlight incorrect words, and 30 write from dictations. For write from dictations, I would highly recommend you to practice from monthly prediction, available on languageacademy.com.au. The data has been collected by our team, and these questions have got a very high probability of being in your test. And if you get something similar in write from dictation, you will significantly boost your overall and your listening and writing scores. That's it from this video. I hope the video was informative, helped you get some information about the test, what are the things you need to do and take care of if you actually want to get your desired scores. If you need any help, do let us know. We've got branches in India, in Australia, and Nepal as well. We do provide online classes for PTE Academic, for PTE Core. If you need any help, just send us a message, give us a call, or visit one of our branches. Our team members will be with you, and we will make sure you do not waste your time and money and get your desired scores with our latest tricks, templates, and strategies. Like we have helped more than 50,000 students crack their PTE test in the shortest time period. That's it. I hope the video was helpful. If it was, do like, share, and subscribe. And if you want me to cover any other topic, let me know. I'll try my best to make a video on that and help you get your desired scores. My only motive is to make sure you don't waste your time and money, get your desired scores. And if you ever get your desired scores, do let me know. That is my biggest motivation, and that will keep me going on. Now go on languageacademy.com.au and start practicing.